Hey guys, in this What's Unique About This Unique video, I want to talk about the Dawnbreaker unique shield that was introduced in 3.17 Archnemesis League, and it drops from Searing Exile boss. I had some people try doing build with this shield, but I feel like big part of player base are sleeping on this shield because in my opinion this is pretty strong shield. I'm currently doing a build with it and I will post a full build guide video in next couple of days. While the shield doesn't have anything too unique, but there are mechanics that may not be too obvious at first look. So let's take a look at the shield. Dawnbreaker has pretty high armor, but only up to 20 life as implicit. It also has the highest base block chance of all unique shields. However, every 200 fire damage taken, you lose 1% attack block. Fire damage taken can of course be mitigated by fire resistance or things like fortify or even chance to avoid fire damage when hit, which is an essence mod. Fire damage taken is recently, meaning that whatever fire damage you take from each hit will reset in 4 seconds. So even if you are continuously getting hit, you will gradually start regaining block chance after 4 seconds. Next is my favorite part of the shield. Up to 20% of cold, lighting and physical damage taken as fire. This is one of the few sources in the game that can actually convert dot damage taken into different damage type. And this also brings some confusion and misunderstanding. In the past we only had modifiers that work for hits only, and if you search for some info about it, you may find some old posts from GG saying that it only works for hits. However, we now have multiple sources of damage taken as that works for degen effects like Divine Flash, which is a timeless keystone that says 50% of elemental damage taken as hairs damage, which will convert even righteous fire damage taken into hairs. However, there seem to be some exceptions for damaging ailments like bleed or ignite, because they are still based on damage done, not damage taken. According to Wiki, changing what type damage is taken as has no effect on damaging ailments. For example, when you have physical damage from hits taken as fire damage and physical damage is dealt to you, the converted fire damage never ignites you, even if you have 100% chance to be ignited. Non-damaging ailments such as shock or chill or freeze will still be applied upon converting the incoming damage to lighting or cold damage respectively. However, I am still a bit confused and it is hard to test to verify since we can mention damage taken from hits in the example and we are using damage taken as, including dots. I'm not 100% certain about damaging ailments conversion into different damage type. Also, do not mix this with your damage conversion. We are talking about the damage taken as. This also has another rule. You can only change the damage you take as once. For example, if you got Essence Craft on body armor that gives 15% of physical damage from hits taken as cold, and you are using this shield that says cold damage taken as fire, you will not convert the physical damage taken twice. It will do some cold damage and then some fire damage, but that cold damage taken won't be changed again into fire damage taken. This is very important if you decide to risk and not get cold resistance, because from hits you're gonna still be mitigating the cold damage taken as fire with the fire resistance, but from cold damage over time you will still use cold resistance. Now the advantage of this damage taken as a mechanic is very useful against elemental penetration like Aziri's Flame Blast, which has 10% fire penetration, or Shaper's Projectiles and Bullet Hell, which has 25% cold penetration. Because for example, if you have 50% of cold damage taken as fire, then with a 1000 cold hit and 75% cold, lighting and fire resistance, you would only take 375 damage instead of 500 damage. I'm gonna show a formula on screen, and the first part is the fire damage and then the cold damage, and then 0.25 is the penetration. And if you manage to convert 100% of the penetrated element into another element, then you can completely nullify the effect of penetration. Like in the above example, a 1000 cold damage hit would be taken as 1000 fire hit and mitigated with the 75% fire resistance, resulting in 250 final damage, while the 25% of cold penetration would be just ignored. On povewiki.net you can look up the damage taken as page and see all the listed uniques and mods that change the damage you take into different damage. So what kind of build could you do with this? Well, you could try to get 100% or close to 100% of physical damage taken as fire and then getting up to 90% of maximum fire resistance. And we can find physical damage from hits taken as fire on Watcher side for Purity of Fire and Purity of Elements, You can also find this mod on a rare helmet, and it has many different ways of getting it on the helmet. Also body armor can either have synthesized implicit, or it can roll it on Elders and Warlord's influence as a normal mod. Chieftain class also has 20% of physical damage from hits taken as fire. The main advantage, as I see, for damage taken as compared to just getting fire and cold and lightning resistance to 90% is being able to ignore monster elemental penetration. As mentioned before, if monsters have 25% cold penetration but you convert 100% of cold damage taken into fire, then that 25% of cold penetration is just nullified, and you end up taking less damage from those cold hits compared to just having 90% of cold resistance. One thing to note, for example, if you have 100% of lightning damage from hits taken as different damage, you may think that you do not need to worry about getting lightning resistance, and that is true for the most part. We do have a couple of sources of lightning dot in the game, and if you only have lightning damage from hits taken as different damage, then those lightning dots will do extreme damage if you do not have capped lightning resistance. From my memory, I believe Baran and Eradicator have some lightning dots. There are way more cold dots than lightning dots, so you probably won't need to worry much about lightning dots. However, it seems every league we get more and more weird enemy skills that just do damage over time. So what I'm saying is that you will still most likely gonna have to worry about getting cold and lightning resistance. Oh, and the last thing about the Dawnbreaker shield is it scorches enemies in close range when you block. Scorches is fire ailment that lower enemies all elemental resistances. In this case it lowers them by -10%. Multiple scorch effects do not stack, and the stronger overrides the weaker. So that is it. As I mentioned, I am doing a build using Dawnbreaker, and I will be posting a full build guide video soon. It is one of my tankest build, and it is around 10 exalts not counting the 6-link body armor, so it will be accessible for most players, I think. Also, let me know in the comments below if you got some ideas about this shield. Maybe I will improve my current build before posting the build guide video. Also, I have more what's unique about this unique videos for you to watch organized in a single playlist, which I will link in video description. This list is growing, and if you want me to talk about certain unique item, also let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.